It's a nation smaller than Yorkshire where boozing in public is banned and making rude hand gestures could land you a prison sentence. So how will Qatar cope with the influx of some 1.3 million fervent football fans for this November's World Cup? I went to the tiny oil-rich country to find out. Located on a 50-mile-wide peninsula jutting out into the Persian Gulf, Qatar is home to some of the wealthiest people on earth. Since winning their World Cup bid in 2010, Qatar has spent eye-watering sums, £138 billion by some estimates, building the infrastructure needed to host the world's biggest sporting event. And with less than 100 days to go until the tournament kicks off, I secured a peek inside one of Qatar's high-tech World Cup stadiums. Taking the metro to the ground, the cultural differences with the West came into sharp focus. So we're just trying out Qatar's version of the tube, and it's very different from the one in London. I'm sitting here in gold class in these very plush seats. It's a VIP carriage on the whole network. There are 3 different classes. There's standard, there's family, which single men can't go in, and there's gold. The Khalifa International Stadium is one of 8 venues which will be hosting matches later in the year. The stadium, in capital Doha's suburbs, can seat over 45,000 people. It's here that England will take on Iran in their opening fixture of the World Cup. So we're deep in the bowels of the Khalifa Stadium, in the changing room where England will prepare for their first match against Iran. It's where Gareth Southgate will give his final team talk before his players jog out onto the pitch. To combat the Gulf heat, 500 air conditioning nozzles pump out cold air into the stadium. The temperature can be adjusted based on crowd capacity. It's August here in Qatar, and the temperatures outside the stadium are a stifling 42 degrees C. But here in the stadium, the AC's kicked in. Like all the other arenas, it's got state-of-the-art air conditioning, which provides decent air quality for those on the pitch and also for everybody in the stands too. It's all controlled from a central NASA-style command centre. From here, all 8 of the World Cup venues are monitored through a CCTV system that would make Big Brother blush.
So we have 15,000 cameras deployed in all the 8 stadiums. So every corner of the stadium is being monitored continuously, 24/7.
If there's a hooligan misbehaving in the stadium, can you pick an individual out with the camera?
Absolutely. So on the other side, what you see there is that the camera that are facing the ball area, the spectator area, those are high resolution, high megapixel special cameras that have the ability to zoom in to any particular seat and actually clearly see the spectator. Can we zoom in, please? So as you can see that you can pick each and every person, and it's being recorded, so that recording will help us even in a post-event investigation.
Qatar really isn't a place where you want to fall foul of the law. The US State Department said there were 375 cases of court-ordered floggings for various offences in 2019. This is a land where PDA can lead to arrest and vapes are outlawed. Drinking in public is currently only allowed in top-end hotels and restaurants. Qatar has yet to confirm its plans for alcohol consumption during the World Cup. However, I'm assured that pints costing around £5 will be available in fan zones.
It will be available in designated area, and there will be some entertainment area, fan zones that will be serving. So when it comes, the availability and the locations, it will be as well announced with FIFA in due course.
The Islamic nation's strict laws and customs are at odds with some of the prevailing views in the West. In particular, the country's attitudes towards the LGBTQ+ community. Here, homosexuality is illegal and punishable with up to 3 years in prison. Despite this, organisers say everyone is welcome to come to the World Cup.
When it comes to LGBT, everyone is welcome, as long as obviously there are limitations around PDA and things like that. So from that perspective, I think obviously like a lot of other countries, there are things that are acceptable and things that are not. But again, we do not discriminate against LGBT, I think, and at the end of the day, everybody is welcome to the World Cup.
Also under the microscope is Qatar's poor human rights record. The gleaming stadiums and other infrastructure that has risen from the sand have been built in the sweat and sometimes blood of an army of often mistreated migrant workers. The Qataris say they have responded by improving health and safety and overhauling migrant employment laws.
So I think definitely the reforms are not going to stop. Obviously, we're not perfect. There is a lot more that needs to change. So I think there will be more changes and reforms that will come also post-World Cup, which is part of the legacy as well.
With around 3 million permanent residents, Qatar can expect its population to rise by a third during the World Cup. So where will this army of football fans stay? There's a variety of accommodation available to fans out here in Qatar. They include berths on luxury cruise liners moored off Doha, Nissan huts for a cheaper accommodation, and fans can also camp out Bedouin style in the desert. And if for some reason the football doesn't provide enough excitement, Bedouin tribesmen are on hand to offer camel rides and falconry displays in the desert. Thrill seekers may prefer a hair-raising, dune-bashing drive across the rolling sands of the Arabian Peninsula.